Okay. Good afternoon, everyone. Today we are going to discuss Union Budget 2024-25. First of all, I am going to give you a brief about the budget. Actually, the word budget is not mentioned anywhere in our constitution. The actual word in place of budget is annual financial year, annual financial statement. Okay, वार्षिक वित्तीय विवरण. फर्स्ट ऑफ ऑल मैं आपको बजट और इकोनॉमिक सर्वे में अंतर समझा दूं. इकोनॉमिक सर्वे फॉर द पास्ट ईयर उसके परफॉर्मेंस को बताता है, जबकि बजट फॉर द कमिंग ईयर जो हमारा टारगेट है उसके लिए सारा फंड का अलोकेशन एंड डिफरेंट सब हेड उसमें शामिल होते हैं. तो ये आर्टिकल 112 अनुच्छेद 112 के तहत तो इस बार का मोदी 3.0 का जो पहला बजट है जो 23 जुलाई को ऑन 23 जुलाई फाइनेंस मिनिस्टर मिसेस निर्मला सीतारमन ने प्रेजेंट किया. दिस इज विद द व्यू ऑफ विकसित भारत एट द रेट ऑफ 2047 2047. इसका जो थीम है वह है विकसित भारत का. विकसित भारत क्या एट द रेट ऑफ. तो हमारा देश जो 1947 में आजाद हुआ उसके जस्ट 100 साल बाद 100 साल बाद जब आजाद हुआ है उस समय में भारत इंडिया डेवलपिंग नेशन था और अंडर डेवलप्ड. अब ऑनरेबल पीएम श्री नरेंद्र मोदी जी ने जो टारगेट रखा है वो रखा है डेवलप्ड भारत का, डेवलप्ड इंडिया. तो इसी गोल को लेकर इसी के लिए ये पहला रोड मैप है विकसित भारत का कि क्या स्ट्रेटजी अपनाई जानी चाहिए सेंट्रल गवर्नमेंट के द्वारा. उसी का एक ग्लैंस किया गया है, ब्रीफ इसमें है. ये ईयर वाइज ईयर टू ईयर ये टारगेट और ज्यादा बढ़ता चला जाएगा. तो फर्स्ट इसमें पॉइंट जो है कि इस बजट के अंदर इन्होंने 4 मेन कैटेगरीज को रखा. पहला अन्नदाता, जिसे यहाँ कास्ट भी कहा गया. एक्चुअली ये कैटेगरी है कि पहला अन्नदाता किसान फार्मर, दूसरा पुअर गरीब, तीसरा महिलाएं वीमन, एंड चौथा युवा यूथ. अब why only these forecast or category? There are certain reasons behind this, because if you go through economic concept, then any country can better develop through the promotion and growth via agriculture. As per WDR, World Development Report, the growth originating from agriculture sector is at least as twice as effective in poverty reduction as growth originating in other than agriculture sector. It means कि गैर कृषि क्षेत्र में जो ग्रोथ होगा उससे जो पॉवर्टी के रिडक्शन में हमें सहायता होगी उससे कम ट्वाइस, दोगुना, मे बी मोर देन ट्वाइस, ये हमें फायदा होगा गरीबी निवारण में, पॉवर्टी इरेडिकेशन में, with the growth in agriculture sector. So first is here agriculture. If agriculture is growing, then poverty is going to reduce. और सीधा है, जब पॉवर्टी रिड्यूस हो जाएगा तो लोगों का इनकम बढ़ेगा, फिर डिमांड बढ़ेगा, और इस तरह से इकोनॉमी अल्टीमेटली तो यही कंसेप्ट है कि क्यों चार लिया गया. फर्स्ट इज अन्नदाता, देन पुअर, तो इसका इफेक्ट हो गया. पुअर को हम फोकस करके पुअर पॉवर्टी कम होगा. थर्ड महिलाएं. अब तीसरा फोकस जो है, फर्स्ट एग्रीकल्चर, सेकंड इज पॉवर्टी. अब तीसरा फोकस जो है वो है वुमन पर. क्यों? इफ यू गो थ्रू LFPR, लेबर फोर्स पार्टिसिपेशन रेट, तो आप पाएंगे कि इन इंडिया मेल का LFPR 80% है, जबकि फीमेल का LFPR ओनली 52.2% है. तो एज पर द डाटा बाय IMF, इंटरनेशनल मॉनेटरी फंड, one of the top international financial agency. According to that IMF, it says that if the equal participation of women with respect to men in India, the GDP of India will increase by at least 27%. So, for the enhancement of GDP, the female participation should be equal or equivalent to male participation in the labor force and workforce as well. So, there is the concept that why female participation should be increased. If the female participation comes at par with male participation, minimum Indian GDP will grow by 27% than the existing GDP. This is the data given by IMF. Okay. So now the next one is, fourth one is युवा. youth. This class is also very important. Why? Because as you know that now India is the youngest country of the world, as minimum 70% of its population comes from youth category. And if we provide proper education and skilling, they will contribute hugely to Indian GDP. That is why these four are the focus or pillars of this budget: agriculture, then poor means poverty eradication, one, two, then three, women, and four is youth. Okay. Now, next point is, what is the theme? Then theme of this very budget is employment. Mainly four themes are there: employment, skilling, MSMEs, middle class. So why employment? This is very simple fundamental of economics, that if any economy wants to grow, if GDP of any country is required to grow, then the first point comes is employment. Why? Because if there is employment generation, there will be income earning by the individuals or employees or workers, and when income increases, then demand also increases, at his or her purchasing power increases. So ultimately it leads to higher demand, and accordingly production and supply raises. So this gives boost to economy ultimately. So first point is employment generation. Now second is skilling. Why skilling? As per recent studies in economy, it says that if there is marked difference between productivity of a person who is skilled and who is not skilled. So there is the higher the skilling, more the productivity. So if we want to be a developed countries, विकसित भारत 2047 तक, तो हमें कुल मिलाकर प्रोडक्टिविटी बढ़ानी होगी. ये एक आवश्यक शर्त है, प्री कंडीशन. तो फॉर दैट पर्पस that productivity should be increased or enhanced, skilling is much needed. Skilling is much needed. Then come to third point, MSME. Why MSME? So there is certain reason, scientific reason behind the focusing MSMEs. Why? Because it is the sector where employment generation opportunity for employment generation is highest or one of the largest as you know that in Indian GDP currently MSME in Indian GDP 29% share in GDP, and in manufacturing GVA this is 40% plus. So MSME sector plays a vital role in the nation building. Now, next point is middle class. Why middle class? Because middle class is supposed to be the major part of taxpayer. So, this class should be strengthened in such a way so that government revenue collection would increase and it will be spent in comparatively more productive work. Next, now there are priorities, प्राथमिकताएं फॉर विकसित भारत. विकसित भारत के लिए क्या क्या प्रायोरिटीज होनी चाहिए? तो सी here also comes first agriculture. The same concept, you should be aware that this is agriculture sector which provides even today largest number of employment in India, though it falls under unorganized sector. But even today, while India is on a rapidly accelerating path, but even then the maximum employment comes from this sector. At present, this is approx 45.5. .5% workforce is involved here. Rather, its contribution in GDP is approx 90%, 19%. But so dependency is very high here. So if we want to convert India, transform India from emerging to developed or Vikasit Bharat, this is an urgent need to reform agriculture sector. So here transforming agriculture research. क्यों? So it is the theory, that if we invest in R&D in एग्रीकल्चर, कृषि क्षेत्र में अगर हम रिसर्च एवं डेवलपमेंट में, शोध एवं विकास में खर्च करते हैं, तो जो फर्टिलाइजर या किसी और सेक्टर में हम सब्सिडी देते हैं या वहां हमारा जो खर्च होता है, उससे इसकी प्रोडक्टिविटी मिनिमम 11% ज्यादा, 11 टाइम्स, नॉट परसेंट, 11 टाइम्स ज्यादा है. That's why R&D sector is focused. Then Atmanirbharta not only in agriculture but in all sectors is very important and instrumental because it helps in the production of any goods or service indigenously. स्वदेशी तरीके से हम दूसरे देशों पर निर्भर नहीं रहकर हम अपनी तकनीकों के जरिए थ्रू इंडिजिनस टेक्नोलॉजी हम इसको ग्रोथ प्रोड्यूस करें एग्रीकल्चर में, जिसका क्या होगा कि इनपुट सब्सिडीज भी हमें कम देना होगा और विदेशों पर हमें डिपेंडेंट भी कम रहना पड़ेगा. अल्टीमेटली इट विल लीड अ ह्यूज ग्रोथ इन इंडियन जीडीपी और इकोनॉमी. सेम नेशनल कॉर्पोरेशन पॉलिसी फॉर सिस्टमेटिक orderly and all-round development of the cooperative sector. As you know that now for the development of cooperative sector, the Modi government has separately formed the new Ministry of Cooperation, which cooperates with the development, growth and development of agriculture. Here release of new varieties. Why new varieties? First of all, through R&D, if there are new varieties of agricultural produce, crops, then first quality will be, productivity will be high and it will be cost effective. First point. Second point, it will be climate resilient, which is here. This is very important. The way in which climate is going to drastically change, this is much needed of the hour that there should be climate resilient variety of crops, so that nutrition fulfillment, nutrition need can be achieved. So that's why 109 new high yielding and climate resilient varieties, 32 this field and horticulture crop will be released. This is our goal under this. Now come that the one important point is natural farming. Natural farming, this is very important. This is like organic farming but not the same. नेचुरल फार्मिंग मीन्स जो पुराने जमाने में चल रहा था, सिंपली आपने बीज लिया, बोया, उसी गोबर को, काऊ डंग और बुफेलो डंग को आपने उसके खाद के रूप में प्रयोग किया. बट ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग इज समव्हाट डिफरेंट. हियर नो टेक्नोलॉजी और साइंस इज यूज्ड, बट इन केस ऑफ ऑर्गेनिक फार्मिंग there is the old pattern but with the application of science and technology. Here no, quite natural. So this is going to support traditional farmers. Also this is much demanded as much of the farmers even today are not very much skilled or educated. So this is next point is shrimp production and export. Why? Because when you go through the topic of agriculture or you study, you will be aware, or perhaps you are, that as a whole agriculture sector occupies allied activities as well, under which there is dairy, animal husbandry, fishing and horticulture. So this is under fisheries, shrimp production, and fishery is a major contributor in agricultural allied activities. So shrimp may be called prawn. Its another name is prawn. So in the prawn production, there will be financing from NABARD. So if production will go high, it will be exported. So it will ultimately lead in GDP growth. Next one is, this is DPI, digital public infrastructure. In the age of digitization, digitalization is needed for every sector, as there is more transparency and accountability. So for that purpose, this DPI has been introduced. One important question is here from the PT point of view: issuance of Jan Samarth Best KCC, Kisan Credit Card. So this term Jan Samarth is important. Now the next priority, this is employment and skilling. I have discussed it already, but see at a glance that PM's three schemes for employment linked incentive, like PLI linked incentive, government is going to introduce ELI, employment linked incentive. So here three categories. Scheme 1A is for first timer. उन्हें ट्रेनिंग के रूप में ये न्यू इंट्रेंट को 1 मंथ का वेज मिलेगा इन 3 इंस्टॉलमेंट अप टू 15,000. इसका एक्सपेक्टेशन है कि 210 लाख यूथ को इससे बेनिफिट होगा. नेक्स्ट इज Scheme B is job creation in manufacturing. Here linked to first time employees, incentive to both employee and employer for EPFO contribution. Here expectation is 30 लाख यूथ को इससे बेनिफिट होगा. Scheme C is support to employer. यहाँ एम्प्लॉयर्स को थोड़ा सपोर्ट गवर्नमेंट से मिलेगा कि government will reimburse EPFO contributions of employers up to 3,000 per month for 2 years. Expected to generate 50 lakh jobs. Next is facilitate higher participation of women, which point I have already discussed. Why higher participation? Because women are very fruitful, beneficial in the growth of GDP. We are not going to treat them in the proper direction. If we educate women, they will be more beneficially economically than men. So, in the workforce, higher participation, reason is they are contributing more than the men. And as per IMF, if the equal participation of men and women in Indian economy, there will be at least 27% growth in GDP with respect to the present existing GDP. Now see, loans up to loans up to 7.5 lakhs. Here, estimating target is 20 lakhs. 1000 industrial training institute. Now, next priority is Purbodaya, inclusive human resource development and social justice. Purbodaya, this is for eastern states like Bihar, Jharkhand, West Bengal, Odisha and Andhra Pradesh, fourth generation of economic opportunities. The important point is here Amritsar Kolkata industrial corridor with the development of one industrial node at Gaya. So, from the PT point of view, where will be industrial node? This is important, Gaya. Gaya in Bihar. Allocation of more than 3 lakh crores for a scheme benefiting women and girls. So this is just women-centric budget. Its main reasons are that there will be financial inclusion and inclusive growth along with gender equality. So 3 points: inclusive growth, financial inclusion, and gender equality. Here, this is for tribal. From name, this is very clear. जनजातीय उन्नत ग्राम अभियान. Now next point is, this is opening of more than 100 branches of IPPB, India Post Payment Bank, in the northeast region. For what? The sole purpose is of financial inclusion. The next point is Andhra Pradesh Reorganization Act. As you know that there is financial support of 15,000 crore. Next one is manufacturing and services. This is very important. This is secondary and tertiary sector. So see, the most important section here under this manufacturing and services is that there the limit of Mudra loan schemes has been increased. The upper limit for Tarun was previously 10 lakhs, that has been increased to 20 lakhs. Credit guarantee schemes. Okay. New assessment model, Mudra loans. Here, this point is very important that the limit enhanced to 20 lakhs under Tarun category. Previously, it was 5 lakhs to 10 lakhs. Now it has been increased to 5 to 20 lakhs. So this is recent updation. Now next point is MSME units for food irradiation quality and safety testing. This is important, and this is very important for this year PT examination for any competition, UPSC or PCS, that 12 industrial parks would be set up under this budget. Parks under the National Industrial Corridor Development Program, NICDP. So 12 industrial parks, this is very important, and then important that under Tarun, the limit of Mudra loan schemes has been increased from 10 lakhs to 20 lakhs. And then this is very important for domestic production, recycling and overseas acquisition. Here rental housing, this has also been recommended, and then this is internship program. Now next priority is urban development. This is here urban development. First point is a stamp duty. Under stamp duty, this comes under a state government, so it has been suggested to lower. Purchased by women. This is by women. तो प्रॉपर्टी को वुमेन के नाम से ज्यादा खरीदने के लिए कहा जा रहा है। इसका डुअल पर्पस हो जाएगा कि संपत्ति से उनको बेदखल भी नहीं किया जा सकता। नेक्स्ट, हार्ट 100 वीकली हार्ट, ट्रांजिट ओरिएंटेड डेवलपमेंट for 14 large cities. Promote these facilities, water sewage treatment. This is very important because the poor sewage treatment, this incident in old Rajendra happens. So for a strong infrastructure under urban areas, this sewage treatment or solid waste management is very important. Next, the new one is PM Awas Yojana Urban 2.0, needs of 1 crore urban people and middle class families will be addressed with an investment of 10 lakh crore. मीन्स जो भारत में घरों की आवश्यकता है, घरों की कमी होती है इवन रेंटल या परचेज के लिए, तो उस नीड्स को क्यों, तो हायर अर्बनाइजेशन, अभी आंकड़े नहीं आए हैं, जब आ जाएगा। नाउ दिल्ली हैज बिकम द मोस्ट पॉपुलर सिटी ऑफ इंडिया, सक्सीडिंग ओवरटेकिंग मुंबई। नाउ मुंबई इज द सेकेंड वन। Basically, the infrastructure of Delhi is for up to maximum 20 lakhs. It has been master planned in such way. Now this is approximately 2.7 crore or 3 crore. So there is urgent need of development of infrastructure, not only in Delhi, such like other cities like Mumbai, Kolkata, Bangalore, Hyderabad, etc. Here, transparent rental housing market. The next one is energy security. This is much needed topic. Energy security. This need is not for national purpose, but for international purpose as well, because there are, in place of MDG, Millennium Development Goal, in place of MDG, now there is SDGs to achieve 17 goals. So for that purpose, use of, because now India has become most populous country of the world, so it needs more energy, and as you know that fossil fuels are exhausting in nature, they are being depleted. So how can we secure, we the people of India, from the point of view of energy? So for that purpose, renewable energy is much needed. Solar energy, like biofuels energy, as it has been discussed in the Delhi Declaration of G20 held in 2023. So nuclear energy also for civilian purpose, not for military purpose. So initiatives with private sector in energy, nuclear energy for civilian purpose, means शांतिपूर्ण कार्यों के लिए, विकासात्मक कार्यों के लिए, युद्ध वगैरह के लिए नहीं, नॉट फॉर वॉर। R&D of a small modular reactor and newer technology for nuclear energy, very important, so that carbon emission will be minimized or net zero कार्बन इमिशन। इंडिया का क्या टारगेट है नेट जीरो में? दिस इज अप टू 2070 नेट जीरो हो जाना है, नो कार्बन इमिशन। तो फॉर दैट पर्पस एनर्जी सिक्योरिटी इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। energy auditing also, AUSC thermal power plant, a joint venture between NTPC and WHALE. This will be very important question for UPSC, that this is the joint venture AUSC of what? NTPC and WHALE. Now next priority is infrastructure. This is very, very important. See the allocation of funds for that purpose. This is 7-1. 11 crore means 11,11,111 crore for infrastructure. That is very huge amount, and this is 3.4% of GDP. So why such a huge amount has been allocated for infrastructure? Because the payoff, total return, multiplier effect of infrastructure is very high. Means agriculture and infrastructure. As per the latest data, the total multiplier effect of infrastructure is 2.4. Means if you invest 1% of GDP in infrastructure, it will ultimately return you, pay you 2.4% of GDP. So this is very important. This 1.5 lakh crore to states as long-term interest rate free loans, and phase 4 of PMGSY, प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना, प्रधानमंत्री ग्राम सड़क योजना for 25,000 to connect 25,000 rural habitation. So this is very fundamental, that if any state, district or town is comparatively less developed, it is said you go there and start making infrastructure. That will ultimately lead to creation of jobs, which will enhance the economy of that very area. So that's why infrastructure is very important. Now the next point is irrigation and flood mitigation. Irrigation is a part of infrastructure, and flood mitigation, this is the need of the hour for crisis management. So both are attached here. This is the part of infrastructure and this is crisis management or disaster management. So Kosi Mechi, this is in Bihar. So here financial support has been given of 11,500 crores. Kosi is known as sorrow of Bihar, like Damodar is known for West Bengal. So now, as dams have been constructed over Kosi, so this is now this river is less disastrous. Assistance for flood management in Assam, Uttarakhand and Sikkim, and seeing the present situation of flood all over India, not only in north or eastern or southern, everywhere in Central Asia, Central India as well. So this project is for the disaster management and this is for infrastructure. If we can control over disaster, it will ultimately increase our GDP. How? Because they create hindrance for economic growth. Now the next point, this is tourism. Already infrastructure we have done, new corridors like cultural on the basis of Kashi Vishwanath in Bihar, Vishnupad in Gaya, and this is Mahabodhi in Bodh Gaya. So this corridor is going to be developed. The more important is this is modeled on this Kashi Vishwanath temple corridor. For comprehensive development initiative here in Rajgir. This Rajgir is known for first glass bridge in Bihar. First glass bridge. So next is development of Nalanda for dual purpose. As a tourist center, and next Nalanda University, which was very prominent during ancient period. Odisha's, वहाँ भी टूरिज्म के लिए उसको डेवलपमेंट की बात की गई है. नाउ द नेक्स्ट very much needed topic is innovation, research and development. As already I have told you that R&D plays a very important role in any economy. इससे नए नए ऑप्शन डेवलप होते हैं और कॉस्ट इफेक्टिवनेस बढ़ता है, अल्टीमेटली इट लीड्स टू climate resilience as well as higher productivity. So here a space economy, a venture capital fund of 1000 crore is to be set up. Means previously it was for testing, missile testing or any other. Now our government is trying for its commercialization. For that purpose, a space economy has been targeted and a venture capital fund. Because when we launch the satellite of other countries, we take gain from those countries in a huge ways. And one important point is Anusandhan National Research Fund for basic research. This will be like a fund agency which will financially support R&D in India. Innovation R&D, that is Anusandhan National Research Fund, ANRF. This is very important point. The next one is next generation reform. What is this? This may be asked in your competitive exams, basically in main written exam, that what is next generation reform. To see rural and urban land related action, because land is one of the very precious resource, natural resource, and it is going to exhaust day to day as there are need of house, different projects, development projects. So it is very important how we use our limited land resource for the betterment of nation, for the betterment of mankind. So here unique this is Bhu Aadhar, survey of map subdivision as per current ownership. आप देखेंगे कि सबसे ज्यादा डिस्प्यूट हो रहा है आजकल जमीन की, लड़ाई सबसे ज्यादा जमीन की है. देयर आर सो मेनी कन्फ्रंटेशन एंड स्ट्रगल्स, कन्फ्लिक्ट रिगार्डिंग लैंड. तो इस सेक्टर पर ध्यान देना, और ये बहुत ही एप्रिसिएबल स्टेप है गवर्नमेंट का नेक्स्ट जनरेशन के तहत कि लैंड रिफॉर्म्स की बात इन तरीकों से उसका डिजिटाइजेशन किया जा रहा है. ठीक. टैक्सोनॉमी, नेक्स्ट पॉइंट, फर्स्ट इज लैंड रिफॉर्म्स. समझते चले लैंड रिफॉर्म्स इन व्यू ऑफ डिजिटाइजेशन. Second is taxonomy for climate finance. This is much needed. If there is availability of fund for climate adaptation and mitigation, then our SDG and other global targets will be achieved. Next is FDI and overseas investments. And now one more new step is NPS वात्सल्य. ये बच्चों के एनपीएस जैसा फंड लाया गया है. ए प्लान फॉर कंट्रीब्यूशन बाय पेरेंट्स एंड गार्डियंस फॉर माइनर्स. बच्चों के लिए लाया गया है. तो ये काफी बढ़िया लाया गया है एनपीएस वात्सल. तो इसको आप एक इंपोर्टेंट पॉइंट मान सकते हैं. एंड देन एनपीएस न्यू पेंशन स्कीम, ए सॉल्यूशन दैट एड्रेस द रेलिवेंट इश्यूज, protects the common citizen and maintains fiscal prudence. So NPS Basel is very important, NPS scheme for children. Now next one is different, these are the different data. So we can see that current account deficit, this is in current account deficit is here, a minus, and then this is real GDP growth here below 10%. So these are the data. Decreasing fiscal deficit, this is very important. Fiscal deficit 5.6%. This is the one of the most important indicators of fiscal prudence in an economy. Inflation is under control, though food inflation is very high. Here, tax proposal. Important point, 3 more cancer drug. This is very vital that three more cancer drugs has been exempted free from custom duty, and then the next point is that reduce custom duty on gold and silver to 6% and on platinum to 6.4%. Next important point is full exemption on 25 critical minerals. So important is 25 critical minerals and then 3 more cancer drugs. Now direct tax proposal. So here 3 main important points are that angel tax has been abolished. Angel tax has been abolished. Second, capital gains, and third, slab. term financial assets attract 20% tax. Long term gains, this is gains. Short term capital, and this is long term capital gains. This is 12.5%, this is 20% taxation. This has been abolished. Angel tax. What is angel tax? Suppose any foreigner or Indian which doesn't want to reveal himself or herself and is going to invest in some Indian activities like a startup. So that was taxed at the rate of 30%. Now government wants to promote or boost a startup sector. So for that purpose, government has abolished the angel tax, and now angel investors are free to invest without any taxation. So basic purpose is here to promote a startup in India. Tax regime, there is no change in old regime, but there is some simplification in new regime. No taxation, the slab remains the same up to 3 lakhs, 5% up to 7 lakhs, 10% up to 10 lakhs, 15% up to 12 lakhs, and 20% up to 15 lakhs, and 30% up to more than 15 lakhs. Now this data is same, that rupee comes from तो highest borrowings, आज भी हम कर्ज से ही सबसे ज्यादा पैसा गेन करते हैं. अदर लाइबिलिटीज, देन इनकम टैक्स. ये क्वेश्चन यूपीएससी के लिए इंपॉर्टेंट है, लेकिन बट रिमेन्स द सेम. सबसे ज्यादा उधार जो लेते हैं, देन इनकम टैक्स, देन जीएसटी 18%, जीएसटी 18%. ओके, सो सीरियल में बोरोइंग नंबर 1, देन इनकम टैक्स, and then GST, then corporation tax. So these 4 in order you may be asked. This is direct tax, this is direct tax. Now rupees goes to the same. Interest payment is the largest section. This, then no, interest section is largest after स्टेट की शेयरिंग के बाद. हाँ, स्टेट का जो शेयर होता है वो चला जाता है, स्टेट शेयर 21%, and then interest payment. So these 2, and then central scheme से जो आता है, these 3 are more important. The question is subsidies 6% of GDP and defense 8%. So defense has been increased here. Now see, in this year budget, सबसे ज़्यादा एलोकेशन जो किया गया है फंड का, वो किया गया है डिफेंस को। डिफेंस को पर्पस ये नहीं है कि हम लड़ाई करेंगे या अपने बचाव के लिए, प्रतिरक्षा के लिए, ये एक पार्ट है। मेजर है कि थ्रू आत्मनिर्भरता का जो थीम था, उसके थ्रू हम इंडिजिनसली डिफेंस एपरेटस इंस्ट्रूमेंट्स का हम डिजाइनिंग करें, उसकी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग करें और एक्सपोर्ट भी करें, जिससे कि हमको इनकम हो। और आपको पता होना चाहिए कि पिछले 2-3 वर्षों में भारत सरकार ने 29,000 करोड़ का डिफेंस एक्सपोर्ट किया, जहां हम आयात करते थे। while previously we were importing, now we are the net exporter of defense items. So first is defense item, then rural development, then agriculture and allied activities, then home affairs, and then education. Education is on 5th position in the allocation of funds this year. So all these are the budgets regarding budget. So these are the allocation in terms of monetary terms, that for मनरेगा schemes सबसे ज़्यादा 86,000 करोड़, then research and R&D projects, nuclear power projects, PLI, सोलर पावर, डायरेक्ट बेनिफिट ट्रांसफर डीबीटी एलपीजी के लिए ये रखा गया है 1500 करोड़, वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट। So thank you. These were some important points and aspects of this year's Union Budget. Thank you.